Welcome, everyone. Bob Mayne here from the Handgun World Podcast, and welcome to the Modern Handgunners channel. And joining me is
Ben Branam from Modern Self-Protection, and we're here to talk about competition today. The competition will get you killed in the street, right?
Oh, yeah, baloney on that.
Sorry.
Well, so let's talk about that. That's a good way to start. You got to start it off on a fun subject there, Ben. You know, competition shooting is pretty popular, but you have a segment of the people out there that says, "Oh, that'll get you killed in the streets." Now, you and I both believe that's baloney, don't we?
It is complete and utter baloney from anybody that's actually been there, done that, and does competition. From years ago, you've got some of the most prolific shooters out there that do this for real, that are actually gunfighters. They say that you should shoot competition. And that includes me from being in combat. When I shot competition before going to combat, it was great because it got me my shooting skills up, and it made me want to be faster and faster and better at my shooting skills. So I have personal experience in that, plus all of these other great gunfighters. I mean, one of the biggest one is Jim Cirillo from the New York Stakeout Squ that probably has more gunfights and actually more kills in law enforcement than anybody else. And he attributed 90% of his winning gunfights to shooting competitions.
And in this video, we're going to talk about why that improves your skills. I'll just say this. I would not want to get in a gunfight with a real good competition shooter. No, thank you. Because they learn some important things. Competition helps you learn what I think is one of the single most valuable skills, and that is how to quickly and safely draw your gun out of your holster and put the first couple rounds on target.
Yeah, it definitely teaches you how to handle your gun and how to put rounds on target. Those are the two things that I think competition does great. Tactics, it's not going to help you, but it teaches you to put hits on target quickly. And it gives you a measure to work against, so you know if you're improving or if you're not. All these guys that just go, yeah, and part of that is the draw, handling your gun. Oh. But yeah, if you get out there and you're just working, how do you know you're getting faster? How do you know you're getting better? Unless you have a measure to put against. And competition is this great measure to put yourself against.
Yeah, and you know, on my individual YouTube channel at Handgun World, I recently had Spencer Keepers. And Spencer Keepers is not only a great holster maker, but he's an incredibly good shooter. And we were talking about timing. And he said, you know, if your draw and your first two shots on target are less than 3 seconds, you're way too slow, and that's something you need to improve on. And competition can help you do that because that's a lot of what you're practicing.
Yeah, 2 rounds on each target. You got to draw from the holster, almost all of them. It'll make you a better shooter and a better gun handler. And I really like that about competition. There's one more thing that's not really, it's not the same, but it is the same for me on competition, and I like it. I have to think about something else besides just shooting. Most of the competitions you and I do are the run and gun ones, right? And sometimes those courses get pretty complicated where you're like, run over here, shoot these 3 targets, and then run over here, shoot these 3. And oh, by the way, you got to reload in the middle. If you don't, we're going to dock you points. And you can't go over this line, and you got to do this, and you have to shoot them in this order, or you're disqualified in one of the ones we shoot with the steel, and all that stuff. So it gives you a lot of things that you have to focus your mind out. You have to pull your mind out of shooting. You have to run around, and then you have to put your mind back into the shooting and the pressing of the trigger, and then you have to click off of that and move back to running around. So it gives you something else. Those are all
good thinking skills with a gun in your hand. Those are really good.
It makes you think and move and think about other things besides just shooting. If you're standing on the square range, you're not moving. You can just think about shooting. You can let everything else kind of fade away in the background. And it's one of the things I love about shooting when I go to practice is that it's this Zen thing for me, and it's really meditation for me because everything else in the world goes away, and it's just me and the target. Yeah. Well, that's great, except for if bullets are flying in your direction, trust me, personal experience again, you're not going to be thinking Zen, breath, half out, squeeze, slow, stop, everything that you've been taught. You're thinking somebody's trying to kill me and I need to stop them right now here in a hurry. So I think competition helps you with being able to pop in and out of, or switch, or if you want to call it multitask, or whatever you want to call it. I think it really helps you with those skills.
Yeah. The other thing that I think competition really does, and people don't really know this, Competition shooters are some of the friendliest, nicest people. And it helps you build a camaraderie with other shooters, and it helps you learn what they do, what they think, what kind of gear they use, what kind of guns they use, and things like that. And if somebody's really seriously thinking about getting started in competition, I want to reassure you, I've been doing it since 2005. I have seen such welcoming people that we welcome new shooters, we like new shooters, we take the time to coach. You'll get a lot of that there too, won't you?
Yeah, and if you need gear, somebody will loan you gear. I mean, we've been there a dozen times where you or I have forgotten something, and somebody will just go, "Here's a couple mags." I've had people forget holsters that I've handed them, extra guns, and I just hand them out, and somebody else will hand me stuff. Went to a competition, my gun didn't work for some reason, or I forgot something. Somebody handed me stuff. Been there when magazines were forgotten, gear was forgotten, pouches, vest when we have to go concealed for IDPA. I had somebody
Yeah.
loan me a vest one time because I forgot, and it had to be concealed, and it was hotter than snot, and I just forgot everything, and they just handed me one to use for the day. So it's kind of, yeah, they're super super nice and super welcoming. And well, there is that one sore thumb that sticks out generally, but there's
Always.
always got to be one. But
There's
everybody
always
else,
that guy.
that guy. But there's everybody else is generally like some of the coolest people on earth, and I really enjoy. And that's how I decide which competition I'm going to shoot too. Our local club for IDPA is amazing. The guys are amazing. The guy that runs it is amazing. I just love being around him. Our local USPSA club, not so much. I've been to their shoots a couple times, and it's just not that I'm not ultra competitive. They were too competitive. Like they wanted to hold up the flag like it was tennis. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't talk while other people are shooting. And they were just, it was just too
Golf.
intense. And I was just like, this is not as much fun as it could be. So yeah,
Yeah.
I go where I like the people and I like the sport, and just as long as I get to run a gun, I am having a good time.
And you just mentioned the most important word, fun. In competition, it is fun. It's the best fun. I'm telling you what, most competition matches are $25, $30, and you're going to run or you're going to shoot maybe 100 rounds of ammo. So let's say at today's prices, that's around what, $12 a box max. So for less than $50, you have had a lot of fun for about 3.5 to 4 hours while you're at competition. It's hard to have much more fun with a handgun, for example.
And if you're used to going someplace and getting upsold on everything, there is no upsell on the at competitions. That is it. You pay your range fee or whatever they call it, your competition fee. You bring your own ammo. You can buy ammo generally at the range there, but that is it. It's not somebody going to go, okay, now you need this, that, and the other thing. It's not like going to Disneyland where you put $100 in to get through the gate, and as soon as you walk in, somebody's waving a finger at you that wants you to
Yeah,
buy another $50 item or
it's not
something.
that way.
There, you have your range fee and your ammo, and that is it.
Now, I want to mention to people who are thinking about competition for the first time. First of all, don't go to there and expecting to win because you're not going to win. And I think that's the biggest reason people don't compete is because they don't think they can win. That's not the point of it. The point of it is to go do things you can't normally do at a public range, right?
Yeah, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to win, but you'll somewhere in the middle to the bottom. That's fine. And you think you'd not. Well, I was in law enforcement, military, and all these competitions before I moved to Texas. And
Yeah.
then I hooked up with our local IDPA range because I went to the range and somebody said, "You're a good shooter. You should go try this." So I looked it up, went out there, tried it. I was winning law enforcement competitions and military competitions. And then I went to Texas and I shot the first IDPA competition, and I was like right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah,
So,
you were.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to win, and not even close. Don't worry about
No.
it. The only thing that's really stopping most people is their egos. And I know we've got a lot of fans out there, and I know some of them that say they're not going to shoot competition for a bunch of different reasons. And I want to be nice to them because I really love the people that listen to us. But some of the times I just want to go, this is your ego getting in the way of you getting to be a better shooter and you
It
having a good
is.
time because you're afraid
It
to go out
is.
there and look stupid. You're afraid you're going to go out there and screw up. You can have an accident on the range and they'll kick you off as long as it's not an unrecoverable one where you hurt yourself or somebody else. Please stand by. This is where we had our technical difficulties.
Okay, we're back, folks. We had some connection issues, but we were talking that when you go to competition matches, you're probably not going to win. And really, the most important person that you're going to compete with is yourself. You're going to go the first time, you're going to see what you can do. And then the second time you go, try to beat yourself from the first time, right?
Yeah, and that's just your placing. You're going to fall somewhere in there, whatever there is, 40, 50 shooters. You're going to be, whatever, if there's 60 shooters, you might be number 40 or number 50. And then if you go back and there's 60 shooters and now you're number 45 and last time you were number 50, well, you actually improved. So you can start seeing your improvement that way.
Let people there help you. And you can test out your gear. Maybe you just bought a new gun. One of the best ways to test out that new gun and maybe a new holster is to go to a competition match. It's a great place to test gear, isn't it?
New holster, new mags, new mag pouches, new belts, new guns, new oils, new everything that I get that I want to test out. It goes straight to competitions with me to see if it breaks. And you know what? Sometimes they break. I used to run an AK forever, and I got some super high-speed, new-fangled plastic mags that were supposed to be better than P mags and everything. And I put that thing into my rifle wrong. It didn't really seat right, and then it wouldn't come out. And I'm in the middle of the competition trying to get it out, and I ended up hitting that magazine so hard that I broke the magazine to get it out. So I know that magazine was not good for me. So that's a lot of the stuff you can figure out when you're under stress and stuff, is if that magazine can go in wrong. If it can go in wrong, you're going to put it in wrong. And then if you're going to break it, trying to get it out, you're going to break it. So, yeah, I broke one of those magazines, and I went, nope, that one's trash. It's funny, I broke the plastic part that the AK clips into the magazine. I actually broke the whole backstrap of the magazine broke off, like a big 2-inch chunk, and the whole magazine was junk. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, remember, competition is not going to get you killed. And I think the people who say that are people who are not very good at competition. So they just kind of discount it and say, oh, it's going to get you killed. I'm not going to try that, because they're not good. That's why. There's a natural tendency to want to be good. And I say, when you're starting out, don't try to be good. But I think people just kind of, I think that's their excuse. It'll just get you killed, right? What do you think?
I think so. Just try to be yourself. Try to get better every time. This will make you better, and it'll make you a better shooter. I can guarantee that. I could bet you all the money that I'm going to make this year. I could bet you 5 years of my paycheck that if you go shoot competitions, it'll make you a better shooter. If you don't, you're going to stay where you are. You think you're the best. I mean, maybe you're a big fish in a little pond. When I was with the law enforcement stuff back in California, I was out shooting a lot of those guys. I was winning. It was easy for me. There was very few people that were competing at my level, and I was winning. And then I come out to Texas, and I see what guys were really competing at, and I was like, ooh, I could get a lot better. There's a lot of room for improvement.
I realized the same thing.
You think you're at the top of your game when you're in your little pond, and then you get out there and you're like, I could be better.
I could do better than that.
And then you get better. I'm a better shooter probably than I've ever been. So, hey, go get better, shoot some competitions, have some fun. We're going to talk about some of the gear and some of the stuff and some of the fun stuff that we use and what we do to kind of cheat. Cheat's not a good word. How about to stack the odds in our favor to win in the next episode?
Okay, so that's going to be coming up in part 2. If you like this video, if you want more videos like this, first of all, subscribe to this channel. We also have a special membership site. And that membership site is called Shooters Club. And it can be found at shootersclubmembers.com. We'll put a link in the show notes for that. Shootersclubmembers.com. What can they find there?
There we've got over 80 videos of how to do things in the shooting world. I can't show you how to press a trigger, or I kind of sort of could here, but we break it down. We do a 10-minute video on like how to press a trigger, like how to do your draw, advanced and beginning stuff, and we got all the way up from here's a gun, here's how it works, to us doing team tactics in there. And everything is a 10-minute lesson, so you can break it down, you can learn it, you can go practice it, and then you can come back for more. Plus, we're podcasters, so we keep putting podcasts up there, special things. We have special guests. You just had a special guest on that was a great interview, and we just keep doing more and more stuff.
Yeah, we do. So thanks for watching part 1. We are the Modern Handgunners. I'm Bob Mayne, and joining me was
Ben Branam, and we are the Modern Handgunners, and we are out.